From the roots where the earth still speaks, to the fire where they always breathe. Hands of wisdom time can't erase. Every drop got a story to say. Slow it down, feel the rhythm inside. This ain't rush, this is sacred design. From the soil to the soul to the light, what you hold is a gift of life. You are, feel it in your soul. Give it, let the story unfold. Ancestral power in every drop. This that legacy, this don't stop. You are rooted deep in you. Give it, yes, pure and true. Not something you drink, you receive. This that energy you believe. Hey, hey. Ooh, Luani. Oh, Luani. Give it. This is where your elders hit and drums sing perfectly.
As a woman of a certain age, there comes a time when our bodies begin to speak, to shift, to change, but not about something that's ending, but about becoming more aware, more attuned, more seasoned, and more aligned with our truth. Women are opening these pages and remembering themselves. This is more than a book. This is a return, a remembrance, a chrysalis opening. Living like a menopause goddess. And this is only the beginning.
Beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Will you be mine? Could you be mine? Love to have a neighbor just like you. As long as you stay out of my business, I'll stay out of your business too. Beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Would you be mine? Should you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? What's up, family? It's your brother King Simon in the mother flipping building today. Oh my goodness. Coming up in the next 6 minutes, I got my brother, man, from another mother and father. You know, we go way back. Snooker's root, jiu-jitsu, but also entertainment. When worlds collide, Lord have mercy. I'm going to read his bio before I bring him on, but I got to let y'all know what's coming up. Although I didn't do the flyers for the next ones coming up. But in the month of August, you know, on August the 2nd, I will be interviewing. Let me make sure my calendar is right here in front of me because I'm developing the flyers this week. In the month of August, we'll be interviewing KT, the Arch Degree, the stepson of Dr. Sabi, will be with us live and direct. The mother, his mother is, of course, Annette Thomas, who was the one that actually at that time, you know, really helped with the whole AIDS situation back in the day. And that's when Dr. Sabi got arrested and all that kind of stuff. Of course, on the 4th, I have Professor Imhotep, my dojo nephew from Sanukas Rule. He will be having a big seminar coming up in Florida. So I got to make sure I support the young warriors that's coming up in Sanukas. He is the son of Grandmaster Hakeem, so Trinidad's finest. And of course, the godson of Grandmaster Lumumba. So big up to Grandmaster Lumumba all the time. He's doing Tai Chi, Qigong now. On the 5th, I got Dr. Ali Muhammad, or AKA Dr. Ali from Arna. And he will be here talking about the 5 tribes. The 5 tribes of course, the Americas. Are they real? Are they not? We're going to talk about that. You know, we're going to come from all that Moorish paradigm and all of that. Also, on the 9th, I have Akibalan and his beautiful wife, Nubia, will be with us on the 9th. And on the 12th so far, we have, of course, Elba El Patria. She will be with us live and direct. Of course, you know, I will be inside with the great Queen of Four. I will be speaking at her event on August the 13th. Well, no, actually August the 15th, but it's going to be going from August the 13th all the way to 16th. And my name is on the flyer. My picture is on the flyer. So if you want to come to that, we're going to be at the Ifatayo Cultural Arts Center right there in Brooklyn, the Major R. Owens Community Center over there, that big armory back on Bedford Avenue, not too far from where the bowling alley used to be, or not too far from Medgar Evers. You know, back in the day, bowling alley was the place to be back in the day. And just want to remind each and every one of y'all family, make sure Make sure you get your tickets for this young warrior that's coming in. Brother B. Dell, making metaphysical teacher, making his first appearance in New York City on September 19th. That's going to be the meet and greet. You got to get your tickets for the meet and greet in order for you to be able to get into the VIP library, Central Library, private theater area. And that's going to be with Brother B. Dell and Brother Blue Pillar 44. Okay, that's going to be big in September. Yeah, we're already promoting. But look, I'm also promoting this. The 20th anniversary, preserving the legacy of the legendary Dr. Moses Powell, happening on Saturday, the 20th of March, 2027. And the host will be Soke Hassan Khalik. Antonio Farguez will be there. Of course, GM Grandmaster Bill McLeod, the daughter of Dr. Moses Powell, and of course, Yusuf Abdul Salam. You know, he was part of that whole thing in the Central Park and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to find out further information, go to www.familyofsanukis.com. This was sent to me by Saifullah, Grandmaster Saifullah. Big up to Grandmaster Saifullah from out of Philadelphia. Woohoo! You know, Saifullah was, woo, man, you don't even want to let him touch hands with you. I'm telling you that right now. And of course, big up to my son and his recording studio right here in Brooklyn, Green Studio NYC. That's Green Studio NYC. Show him some love. Show him some love. Show him some love. All right. So if you want to record your audio book, he can help you with that, like he did with my audio book. And remember, my audio book is available in my membership. It's the Numerovation for Mental Stability audio book. If you don't want to read and you want to listen, that's 4 hours and 44 minutes of that book. We drop in that knowledge from out of that book. And then if you want to get any of my books, please go to my Linktree. That's Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator, or you can go to Amazon and get any one of my 5 books that are out there. And if you are interested in writing a book, I have someone, one of my team members, Susie Script. If you want to get a free consultation with her, call the number right there or text the number 914. Call the number and leave a message if you don't get her, because she is also an educator. 914-361-9467. That's 914-361-9467. And make sure you tell her that King Simon, you can get a free consultation, proofreading, copy editing, line editing, developmental editing, and ghostwriting. She could do all of that for you. Also, remember, we're going to have Dante Nero coming up in the next 1 minute. So look out for that. And remember, if you want to do a face-to-face consultation, numerology is the study of numbers. So I do a thing called Numerovation, motivating you with your cycles, patterns, sequences. And you can come on, meet me over there at Mint Porch Cafe on Flatbush and Caton. It's a beautiful vegan cafe and vegetarian cafe every first and fourth Saturdays of the month. But you must text the words face-to-face at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. So, woo, man, let me shake this off. Let me do my shake. We're going to do the Brooklyn shake now, because I'm about to bring on my brother. Oh, Lord have mercy. And he's doing great things in the world, of course. But I want to read part of his bio, because his bio is very important. And let me put the flyer up in front as I'm reading the bio. And it says, nobody got this story. He says, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, raised Catholic, Lord have mercy, served as an altar boy, trained under martial arts legend Moses Powell, Dr. Moses Powell, then learned to fence well enough to earn a scholarship at SUNY, New Paltz, and of course did strip shows for sororities on campus to pay the bills, bounced at the biggest clubs in the city, fought underground bare knuckles in closed factories for money. And that's the underbelly of New York City. And Dante have lived it. In 2006, I got to say this, because the late, great Patrice O'Neill was one of his, arguably, like he says, the most respected comedic voice of his generation, called on Dante as a creative partner and trusted advisor to build a show together on Sirius XM. The two were cut from the same cloth, unfiltered, unafraid, and years ahead on how men and women actually operate. Dante's edge came from 11 years in the exotic dancing world, back before OnlyFans made it into a side hustle, a front row education in male-female dynamics no textbook comes close to. Now, the Black Phillip show became cult radio. When Patrice died in 2011, The internet kept the recordings alive, and the fans demanded more. Dante answered first as Beige Phillip, and then rechristened Man School 202, which hit 15 on iTunes in its first year and has been running ever since. While building the podcast, Dante was also loading reoccurring roles in major films and television: The Blacklist, Power, Fringe, Ray Donovan, Ocean's Ace, pulling authentic characters straight from the streets and the rooms he actually came from. Bold, philosophical, honest, funny as hell. Worked with Tracy Morgan, Mike Epps early in his career, and the whole New York City circuit. This is what 37 plus years in the game look like. I want everybody and all of you to give my dear brother a well-deserved round of applause, because he's been putting in this work for a long time. When I say you flipping building, Dante.
What up?
What's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm fine, brother. Let me take off my applause button. Oh, man. How you been, my brother?
Always good to see you, brother. Always good to see you.
Oh, us, my brother. Always good to see you, man. And watching you, I'm very, I have to really say that I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, bro.
On the journey, because we come from the club life and the martial arts life and all that. And, I was in Sanuka starting in 89, and I know you was there probably a little earlier, I believe.
Yeah.
You was there a little earlier before I came in to the Nation of Islam in 89. But, Dr. Moses Powell's name was synonymous of the streets, because he didn't believe in competition and all that. It was all about the streets with Doc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with all your accolades, I know people see you as a comic and all that, but you've been through the rigmarole of New York City, brother.
Well, I've always been a Brooklyn cat, and in New York, but my dad, people don't know this, but my dad did youth work probably since like 1943. In Brooklyn. He was one of the founders of Medgar Evers College.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and he ran basketball tournaments in Evansville and Wingate Park. He actually started the concerts that they do at Wingate Park and stuff like that. And so you remember the bowling alley,
of course,
right? So my dad's picture was up on the bowling alley wall next to Mandela.
Get out of here! What's your dad's first name? What's your dad's name?
Reggie, but his last name is Nero. Nero is everybody used to call him Little Nero because he was only 5'2", but he was a dynamo as a person, and he did all kinds of youth work. Started in Canarsie, worked for the Parks Department. And he did it like that. So everybody knew my dad.
Right. So he knew Richard Green. You remember Richard Green from the Crown Heights?
He started Richard Green.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Richard Green was Richard Green's mentor.
Oh, that's what it is. I ran into him in the train station like a couple of months ago, man. He's still with us, man. He's still with us, man. He's still here. Yeah. Elderly, but he's still standing strong. No cane, no nothing. He's still moving. So, man, that's powerful to know that. Salute to your father, man.
They actually named the school, named the street of him on over by Evansville. That street right off on Sullivan.
Yes.
Named after my dad now.
Oh, get out of here. See, now you're going to make me ride down there and take a picture. You're messing me up. I'm riding my bike. I'm back in New York right now. So it is what it is. Man, that's an interesting story. And that's why it's so important to know your life. Because everybody talk about everything else about, you're a co-host of GODfrey, of course. Big up to GODfrey over there and GODfrey with Trust and all of that. And everybody like to talk, but people don't know the man, the myth, and the legend of who you are, brother.
It's weird because when my dad was a Brooklyn icon. So he was like, you know how they talk about the GOAT Manigo in Harlem? Like he was the GOAT in Brooklyn. And he started the first 6 foot and under tournament. Really? Where if you were over 6 foot and under, you couldn't play. He had a tournament specifically for short guys. So
I'm 5'6", so I could have been in that one.
Yeah, you could have been a center. It was interesting ball play because you got a bunch of point guards running, really fast, and you still got guys who can dunk and stuff like that. So it was an interesting ball play,
Right. Going back into time, like you just said, and I've heard you on other podcasts talked about certain things in your life and all that. Growing up with two, your parents and all of that. You say your father's descendants was like Antigua and all of that, and then your mother was a Black American, foundational Black American. Yeah. What was that like growing up with those two people like that? Growing up from two different backgrounds, similar.
You got to understand it's just this is a thing. Even when I talk about foundationally Black American, like. So my dad was born 1920.
Okay.
And his brothers, he was the youngest of 16.
16?
Youngest of 16. His mother was half Black, half white from Boston. Right. She grew up in an orphanage at a time when you couldn't be half Black, half white. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my grandfather was from Antigua. My grandmother, my mom's side is from enslaved people, and her father was 100% Sioux, indigenous. Yeah. So, but what's funny is, people talk about, the way that Africans and Caribbean people do not treat FBI. This conflict. Right. There was a time when you came to America, not just as a Caribbean, but right. you were trying to Americanize yourself. All my father's brothers went to World War II.
Yes,
fought the Germans in World War II because there was this thing where you wanted to be accepted as a citizen in America, and they all thought that if they did if they showed up, that would change. But the bottom line was that was just never in, we have such a different perspective, especially with this, this orange bag of crap that we got right now.
Right.
It's just so evident that there's a movement to just disenfranchise, and also and in my opinion that they don't see us as human,
Right.
And even when you think that they see you as human, they don't. There's always I saw there was a sister on TikTok, and she was like, when you hang out in these spaces with Caucasian people, there's always that moment when you come to that moment where they say something or they do something, or and a lot of times it's a lack of it's just a lack of knowledge. It's 400 years of programming that they've been telling these mediocre white folks forever that they're superior, and they're not. And not only that, grossly mediocre across the board, if you really want to know. And when you get a situation where these people it's like, when you see like some Karen spit in some Black woman's face or something, the audaciousness of that is that you think you're going to do that and nothing's going to happen to you.
Exactly.
And then when she's whipping up on you and you're surprised, it's because audaciously you believe this. So as much as it's horrible, most people are not bright. In general, people don't read. They don't. Especially now. I feel like we don't revel in education. We used to go to the professionals, to the experts, and now there's, especially with the internet, everybody's got a voice.
Yes. That's true.
And so we're growing up like that. My dad was as when we talk about foundationally Black Americans, right? I guess, and then when I come to think of it, he would still be foundationally because it's one parent, right? I think it's one.
Yeah, one parent. Yeah, one parent. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So but he, it was about Americanizing yourself.
Right.
You know,
Dante, a lot of people, that family, those that are just tuning in, we have the great Dante Nero, man, a good brother for many, many years, always been respectful. We always been respectful to each other. Go to his website, DanteNero.com. He got a Cash App. Spread love. That's $ Dante Nero.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he got a YouTube channel, Dante Nero 1. And of course, he's on with GODfrey. We trust y'all know y'all see him up there with Vishnu and the whole crew. Y'all be hilarious, man. I watch y'all all the time. And the call-in show for the Man 102, Man School 102. 202. I love that because there's one of the quotes that you talk about, Ace, I like to talk about. But, a lot of people don't study geographic history, and knowing that all from Canada all the way down to the Caribbeans are the Americas. It's all the Americas.
Yes.
If you look at the puzzle, it's all put together. And that's why I stand with the premise of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who came from Sanderville, Georgia, he said, yo, we are the original man and woman of the whole planet Earth. But I understand people wanting to get their respect in their different parts of their community. And that's what we all got to do. Because in Jamaica with my family, Jamaica and Cuba with my family, they was promoting America and telling us to come to America. They put through all the other throughout the whole Caribbean was promoting, trying to probably offset the Black Americans here. And that's what they was trying to do. And one thing I asked my father just recently, when he came here when he was 16, and my grandmother was already here since 1930s and all that kind of stuff. But when he came here when he was 16, was he ever told not to hang out with Black Americans? He said, no, I was never told that. He was never, but they said that's what happened in Africa. I don't know what that's all about, but I know Jamaicans wasn't told that.
White supremacy, and we're talking about the colonization and the internalization of colonization, and you're talking about Malaysians, Filipinos, Cubans. But it's really a thing where like when there's this argument, there's an argument about who started hip hop. People, the first name that people go to is Kool Herc.
Kool Herc, yeah.
Kool Herc was Jamaican. He was I don't know if he was
Jamaican, full Jamaican from I know who he is. Yeah, I know.
But you also have people who have come from these other Caribbean islands who don't know anything but America. Like, for instance, like GODfrey, there's this whole beef on the internet, FBA.
Yeah.
It's interesting because GODfrey's only been to Africa twice in his life. He's been to Nigeria twice. He grew up in Chicago, for the most part of his young adult life till now is 30 years has been in New York City. And so, he ain't going back to Nigeria to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And if he did, he would do it as an adult, as a professional.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it just, there's Caribbean and Arabic that know nothing but America. Haitians, Jamaicans,
all of that. Because back in the day, you remember everybody was Jamaican. Because Jamaica put in that fight. Jamaica put up that fight to be able to be. So everybody, Haitians were Jamaican, Trinidadians were Jamaican, everybody was Jamaican. Until.
But I think there's a connection that people want to have to their ancestry. But there's also and I get it 100%. There's this need to disenfranchise foundationally Black Americans when there would be no immigration without foundationally Black Americans.
Exactly.
Anybody that doesn't know that just doesn't know their history. The problem is, I think, for the most part, there's this also myth as if best way I can put it like this: in order to assimilate into America, patriotism means anti-Blackism. You cannot be a patriot unless you are anti-Black, because the country is built on the using of Black bodies as revenue. And so when white folks are going, he's a patriot, what they're really saying is that part of that culture is to be anti-Black. Exactly. And a lot of sometimes Caribbean people want to distance themselves for the backlash that African Americans, we are the Dalits of India. We're the untouchables of India. In my opinion, I I don't think Barack Obama would have been even considered as a president if he didn't have, if he didn't have some white, like his mama was white and
the bloodline.
From Kenya. Yeah. So you realize, because you got to understand, if the narrative itself is that African Americans are, foundation Black Americans are inferior, how could they possibly rise to the presidency of? So we'll give you somebody who is, he's Black, but he ain't black.
He ain't black.
I give you a quick example. When Jon Stewart left the Daily Show, Trevor Noah took over.
That's right.
You gonna tell me you didn't have any African American comics that were here that could have taken that show? Roy Woods Jr. There were plenty of guys who were doing it before, but they took a South African and a light-skinned ass South African from someplace else who would say, and I can't confirm this, but my understanding is that he was a joke thief.
Yes, I heard that. Yep, I heard that.
And from all the South African, his cohorts don't like him because he was stealing their jokes and bringing it. And don't get me wrong, and I think he did a great job with the show and whatever. But the point is to this is the situation when you didn't have Black quarterbacks. Right. And they were like, we can't have an image of a Black quarterback, because that goes against the narrative of Black people being intellectually inferior.
And when you have people like Trevor Noah, it's business. Follow the money, because he's light skinned, he's from South Africa. They're trying to attract a bigger audience, and he's acceptable amongst Blacks. Got it, here in America and throughout the Caribbean. That's what that's all business. That's all money. And I can't fault white America for being a business people. They've been.
I think you can, because I think I do, because we're talking about inhumaneness.
Oh no, if they're selling bodies and all that madness, I understand that. But when they talk about
business and not be inhumane, but the problem is white supremacist business is at the cost of bodies, Black bodies. I've read this book about 3 times. The Medical Apartheid.
That's a good book. Great book.
Is where they talk about the whole medical profession is built on on Black bodies. I mean, even when you talk about Harvard, Yale, Oxford, right? When you become a doctor, you work on a cadaver.
Yes.
But they were selling Black bodies, actually grave robbing Black bodies in Harvard, Yale, Oxford, so they needed bodies to cut up. So during the antebellum period, they would steal our bodies so that you could buy a Black baby for $3.50.
That's right.
So this was part of. So in every ask of Marion Sims, is the father of gynecological sciences, had female slaves in his backyard in the shed where he was doing experiments and doing operations on them with no anesthesia.
No anesthesia, that's right. What
we're talking about is that the root of this is Black bodies on every level. The world economy was 4 products: was cotton, sugar, right? Cotton, sugar, tobacco, and Black people.
And Black people, that's Wall Street was. That's what Wall Street was all about. All of that,
So we're talking about a system that is, that we know that every municipality, every municipality police officer was slave catchers, and so when you look deeper into the history of this, I
want to preface, of course, when it gets that deep, you got to go to the root. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad used to tell me that all the time. Tell us that, because we used to be right there in When Worlds Collide when Steve Copeland was coming through and everybody was coming through back in the day. And again, their business, because all of us are doing business and hustling. I'm just saying what they did with Trevor Noah, but I know it gets deeper when it goes, because South Africa is South Africa, and what they're doing to South Africa right now, what they're doing to Africans in South Africa is right now is appalling and crazy. You know,
Yeah.
I know you're a well-read brother. I always, that's what I love to see, your books. In fact, I just moved back to New York from Georgia, and all my books are still in Georgia. And I wish I had my books still with me.
Yeah.
We could go toe for toe for books, bro. I love books. Matter of fact, I lost 1,500 books in a storage, bro. My son and I went through this thing, and his wife, and lost all these books. You know, going back into the day, even when you was into, and I'm going back into the strip world.
Right.
What compelled you to go into the strip world? It wasn't because you became synonymous with that. You could have been the face of that in New York, because people. I remember we be in the dojo. He said, "Yo, Dingo knocked out somebody." Yo, on the streets, you were knocking people out.
Well, here's the thing. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Professor Moses was like my other dad.
Yes.
Now,
right.
And I mean, I used to train with them 7 o'clock in the morning with all the Shions, all the masters.
Yeah, y'all had to be that.
Professor Bell, Lutalo, Lumumba. I mean, it's funny you said to me, Lumumba's grandson is coming. Yeah, it's crazy.
Godson.
And and then Shemp, and I mean, we talking about straight. I remember Shemp, Professor Shemp would take his. And he was just riddled with bullets. And
I seen him the other day.
He's still around.
He's like, he was at the African Arts Festival with us. He passed through.
And I mean, they was training, and Soke Little John and Shabazz and Lutalo but I mean, another thing was they was so hardcore. Now you look all of them guys, they all got hip replacements.
Yes, they all.
Because we would take in full free falls and judo falls on concrete.
On concrete,
On wood floors. I mean, but I remember I was up to get my black belt. I never went and got my black belt because you had to do a free fall off the mailbox, a back free fall. I was like, I'm good. I'll keep training. I'm not ready to test yet, But you learn this stuff and you watch Professor, because a lot of people don't understand how martial arts kind of integrated, because the prison system was so unjust. There was brothers training martial arts in prison, so there was this cross-cultural thing. Like, for instance, people don't know a professor. I call him, because of my time. But Professor Bill, his basis was Aikido.
Yes, that's his
then
thing.
You had like Shion Battle he was Shotokan.
May rest in peace.
They took these things and integrated this within Sanukas. So Sanukas was sort of like the Jeet Kune Do of black people. Not only that, but I mean, even now when you look at these brothers who do the 52 blocking system, that is an integration of multiple styles. And it was the first MMA.
Yes.
Before there was MMA.
Yes.
And so you're a young dude and you're learning this, you want to try it out. So there's no place better to try it out in Brooklyn in the 1980s, you know what I mean? Because it was popping, and I'm running around shaking my moneymaker on Blake and Dumont and pink houses and stuff. And, guys ain't really, they're going to try you, and then you're rolling by yourself. And so a lot of time you had to rock jaws, you had to go in dude's mouth sometimes. So it was just a thing where I was in the streets and
it was always comedy when you talk about you, man. It was like, Dingo just rocked somebody. You remember Little Wayne, Shion Wayne, at that time, Anthony little brother, Anthony big brother, and I was with him at Spike Lee's set, but y'all was like, we always talk about Dingo.
And they would hear you, and they would find out. I don't even know how they would find out. I heard Mandingo.
A lot of them was into security. Remember, everybody was into security back in the day. So we was all doing security, movie sets, clubs, all over the place. So we all heard about the little security. We have a whole network.
And I would come to class and be like, you busy this weekend? I'm like, I don't. What do you mean? So
real deal. But but that was necessary because people was, even women. I remember I was doing a club. Me and the partner was doing a club. We booked you down at Dumbo. And that who was doing my security? Lil Wayne, brother Shion Wayne, and Professor Nelson Muhammad, brother Nelson, who also is a Sunukas, all of us, and they were doing security. And you lift off the table. You did a flying rollout over the table, and women went crazy. They went crazy. We said Sunukas because y'all, Sunukas had a very, very interesting rollout, and Doc always used to say the floor will teach you how to land. That's one thing the floor would do. So in that world, because running into people like Punisher, and I seen you had him on your show, and I was laughing when I seen Punisher's name come up in the P Diddy thing. I said, "Oh, that's Punisher."
It's deep. It's deep. But if people don't know, it's Punisher that came up was the gigolo for what's the girl's name? Katie. What was Diddy's
girl? P Diddy's girl.
Who was the girl that he was?
Not Nicole. Not Nicole. What's her name? Forget it. Everybody know who he is.
Yeah.
Don't stress that. But
the funny thing is, even with Punisher was younger. He was younger than me, and he was in. I mean, even when it came, just like martial arts has classes,
right.
Different eras. Why I still call Professor, call Shion Bill because that was
the time.
And but Punisher did a show at the old Encore in Queens, and the dude there, I remember, I won't say his name, but the dude was a promoter, wouldn't pay him, and he was like, they didn't pay me, and I was like, come with me. And I went and maybe did a little technique. I did some technique and got his money. And that's how we became friends,
Right.
So, but I mean, you're moving and shaking and you're not even really. And then when I reconnected with Punisher, he was like, man, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have had the life I had if it wasn't for you, you're making memories, and there's also one thing you learn. One thing you learn from Sunukas is that. Do you remember Hollywood?
Of course, I remember Hollywood.
So, if people who don't know, Hollywood was a church-going man, walked with his Bible, powder blue suit, white shirt, white tie, white socks, white shoes. Always had a hat. Was clean. Used to come and train, right? But somebody knocked Hollywood's hat off on the subway, and he was like, brother, listen, brother. And then he ended up going to breaking this dude up, like breaking his arm and all kinds of. And so one of the things that you learn is you never know.
Ooh, yes, right.
You don't know what people know. And so it was always a matter of respect.
That's right.
For each other and respect for other human beings. So you can't really carry an ego. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's very difficult to carry an ego when you know that this old Bible thumper is bad, maybe the most dangerous dude in the room.
Exactly. But moving forward, family, Dante Nero is with us. We're not gonna keep it's 2:30 already, 3:30 minutes after the hour everywhere in the world right now. We got Dante Nero here, man. Go to his website, DanteNero.com. He got merch on there. He got all kinds of different. You could even book him if you want. You know what I'm saying? If you really you got to pay him though. So stop playing.
Well, so the thing is, but being in that, because I was, doing the strip thing, it gives you a perspective of how you get to feel what it feels like to be a woman.
And watch your back.
Well, yes, but also in the fact that like I talk about, in order, every time a woman gives a guy her number, right? She has got to decide whether or not you are going to murder her.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is on the table. And I think a lot of times guys don't understand that this is the baseline in which women have to operate, that they have to consider their well-being every time when they want to go to the Olive Garden for free breadsticks and salad. You got to decide whether this man may essay her or whatever. So
That's right.
So, and I think if young, and there's so many young dudes that don't know how to approach, and they don't, you know, they grew up, didn't have anybody. And even if they have fathers, a lot of times they didn't understand they didn't have a way to approach women and stuff like that. And that's where the whole man.
I want to step into that right now because I have a clip. That you said something like that to these beautiful women about the acronym. Here we go.
Acronym is ACES: authenticity, credibility, and empathy. Right?
Okay.
So authenticity is just truth.
Okay.
Honesty and truth.
Which niggas don't have. Okay.
Credibility is I say what I mean what I say, and I do what I say.
Which niggas really don't do.
Okay. And empathy is for me to perceive the tribulations that you have to go through on a day-to-day when I'm asking for things.
I love that you were teaching me these 3 things because we don't do that either.
Where them motherfuckers can enroll.
We need all these niggas enrolled into that shit.
See, I get that part there, family. Y'all gotta check him out on Man School 202 and over there on his YouTube channel. Everything is right and posted at the top of the chat. Talk about that because a lot of us don't realize how important. Because I quote you all the time with the ACE, and I love that you say that authenticity, credibility, and empathy. From your perspective again, so people understand. And I also quote you saying when you say, "I'm not a alpha male, I'm not a beta male, I'm a better male." Right, I love when you say that because it helps to refine who I am to make us, because I never knew, you know, from all the times I've known you, I didn't know you became such a thing until I started watching you and Patrice doing y'all thing. You was there before Kevin Samuels. Y'all was doing it way before, and Manosphere and all that. Kevin
Samuels, he didn't, you know, I was the sidekick because Patrice was more famous. But the reason why Patrice brought me on was because I kind of schooled Patrice on a lot of stuff. That he was, first of all, he was like 4 or 5 years younger than me. Second of all, I was stripping for about 11 years. Yeah. And then what happened was, right around the time that Rudy Giuliani started cleaning up 42nd Street, right? He was sending out vice agents to close down strip clubs. And I knew all the female strippers. And there was a guy who asked me, there was a place called the Cheetah Club on Flatbush Avenue. Yes, sir. And that was, and you know, they would do live locked door shows and just like debauchery, and the girls were tricking in the club, and he was like, please, could you come and manage and could you manage and stop them from turning? They're gonna get my club closed down. Yeah, that's right. So I used to manage a couple hours a week and then talk to the girls, and so they already knew me because I was a pretty big thing. And what happened was I couldn't stop. I mean, I had paper like this, but hoes gonna be hoes. So you can't, you know. And the truth of that is, like, the whole pimp game is done. Yes. But even when there's no pimps, people have used the internet. They pimp themselves. So somebody who wants to make her money on her back is gonna make it on her back. Anyway, whether you wanted to or not, there's people who just don't. And I'm not judging them. I mean, who am I to judge anyway? But the point was, I was trying to stop them, and they wouldn't stop. And I was like, all right, look, how about we do this outside of the club? We'll set it up. And I had set up a whole thing. So, like, indirectly, I was a personal manager, right, for these women outside of the club, which was like, you know, accidental pimping, basically. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then you have these women in there, and then what you realize is, you know, when people talk about the game, especially Chi-Town is all about the game. But the bottom line is, you that's work. Yes. You got 10 to 12 women who will rely on you to talk to. Their problem. I mean, clearly they have their own problems and stuff. You know, not everyone, all of them, but a lot of them have problems while they're in the game anyway. And you got to be the guy that solves the problems. So now you're managing 10, 12 women's emotions at one time. Plus the fact that I understood from the stripping gave me a perspective on what they were, you know, because they were the object of the desire. When I was at my height, I understood. And so, but I mean, even when you're in that, a lot of times what happens is you have to listen and pay attention. And I was always good at that. I think that's what made me good at martial arts in the first place. And also in a way that you want to take things and, I mean, that's why I was not having street fights and stuff, because I learned something. I wanted to try it. How do I know it works unless I try it?
Right.
So
exactly.
I was always very, very intricate about what was being said and how it was said and how it affects. And I created these concepts.
Right.
So anytime I knew male, female, people have relationship problems, they would come to me.
And and I love because you have live call-ins and all of that stuff, and I could tell that some of the men are very young. They didn't understand. I'll be like, I say, oh, he gonna give them some good answers, some good game.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, because nowadays you notice that relationships, people are battling, men and women are battling with each other. There's no balance. But when you put out that ace, both man and woman need to be authentic with each other, credible with each other, and empathetic with each other. Now, since you've been doing that, how has been the response from your audience, male and females, Dante?
Well, I think because, I think the problem, look, if I had done did the bullshit that Steve Harvey did, and I had marketed to women, because what he does is he just tells women what they want to hear.
Right, exactly.
And he doesn't really hold women accountable. And then the other hand, Kevin Samuels, all he did was scream on women all the time, right? Which is, I'm not going to say that he was a fraud, but I will say this.
Right.
He had no answers. And we have a thing where when you are accustomed to trauma in your life, you look for trauma, So if your daddy and your mommy, or your daddy's abusive and stuff and unavailable and stuff, what happens is, as a woman, when you go out, you pick men who are unavailable. And the guy who is attentive and there for you, he's a sucker or he's a simp. You take advantage of him, and then you wonder why you have horrible relationships. But what we don't understand is it's not. I think people take it as a viciousness, but it's not a viciousness. It's people wanting to maintain the homeostasis. What toxic environments if you're accustomed to that, it feels normal to you. Mm-hmm. So when you're in a balanced and open and honest relationship, right? Mm-hmm. That is more painful than being in a toxic relationship, because a toxic relationship is what you like. For instance, I'll give you an example, like the Stephon Curry's wife, and she was saying, "Oh, no guys don't hit on me, and I didn't really like him that much, and I wasn't even attracted to him, and all of this stuff, and I wish guys would hit on me." It's like people don't hit on you because they respect Stephon Curry. Exactly. It's not because they don't find you attractive, but this validation. But this is a woman who needs this validation, and even though he's a good husband, she's got a goofy, cooking show, whatever. He's allowed her. No stress at all, no financial stress. He's a good father. He's there with the kids. No scandals, nothing. But she's still unhappy because she clearly comes from a situation where that toxicity is important to her. Right. So so a lot of like Kevin Samuels, and it was like, oh, you're a single mother and you have children, and on the internet they go, single mothers are somebody who they're just for recreation. You and I know, we've been around a long time. I don't know nobody that hasn't dated somebody with children and been in love with somebody with children. I don't know anybody that hasn't been taking care of somebody else's, chipping in, or even if the father was present. So in order to do it by the numbers is ridiculous, because life, love and emotion is messy. Yes. And it's going to be messy. And so you have to be able to navigate. I mean, I use it and the reason why we train so hard is because you wanted to be able to maintain, to not let emotion and fear come into place, because you were ready. Right. And that confidence and that calmness helped you execute. So if you think if somebody tells you, oh, you got kids. Now look, I don't want to, I'm not taking on a woman with 5 kids and 5 baby fathers. I mean, that I mean, but it's not like I haven't seen that.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, we have. Right.
What are we talking about? So we have to meet people where they're at. And when you take ACE, telling authenticity, telling the truth, credibility, you say what you mean what you say, keep your word, and empathy, which is, I know that other people have gone through things that I've never gone through. Mm-hmm. And because of that, their reaction to things is going to be distinctly different. And if I start with that, like if you think about that, if you think about those three principles and you think about all the people that you know, you probably could count on one hand the guys who actually practice that. Guys who always tell the truth, always keep their word, and have the empathy of other people's situations, you know? We wouldn't be in wars if people were honest about what their intention is. The problem is most people are dishonest about their intentions. They don't keep their word, and they don't have any empathy. They think, oh, my situation is, it's like when, you know, it's like a guy could never tell a woman what her period feels like, what her cramps feel like. You have no, I mean, you can empathize with it, but you have no idea what it means to have the inside lining of your stomach being raked from you. And to the same token, it's the same thing when you have white folks, and white folks don't understand what it is to be programmed as not human, and the microaggressions and the lack of same thing. It is when we start to kind of have the empathy for other people, everything changes when we can see it from other people's perspective, you know? And just because I don't experience it, it don't happen, you know?
There's another quote you said, and I like, you put it on your Instagram, so I'm able to snatch it. I love that. And I want to talk about it because, you know, a lot of people have been traumatized, both men and women. Yeah. And some men don't want to acknowledge their trauma, and some women don't want to acknowledge their trauma. But you said something in this video, and I'm going to share the screen real quick. And I want people to take hand, because this brother is a whole scholar with this. This brother's a scholar. I have to admit, bro. I didn't even know you went there until I started watching you more. I said, Lord have mercy. This brother's a scholar. Hear this one, y'all family. Hold on.
Same thing that got you to the point where she was turned on and she wanted you is the same thing you got to do to keep her. There's no vacations on being a man. Asking if you could just love your chick, just love her, is like asking, can I take a nap while I'm driving on the highway? No, you got to be a man every day, all day, in your sleep, in your wake time. You got to always drive. Because the minute you stop driving, the car's going off the road. Not be the best version of yourself. Not manscape your balls, or cut your hair, or smell good, or shower, or dress up. I want to be in the car when my chick is next to me and she's looking at me. She's like, God, who the hell is that? Oh, that's my man. That's the man I've been dating for the last 15 years. I'm still hot for this dude because he's still making it happen.
There it is. Talk about that, because I think a lot of us do miss that point. You know, we miss those, and we don't understand. A lot of men don't understand that, and a lot of women don't understand it, that they also help us to be who we are, to help mate. We're supposed to help each other as mate. I help you, you help me to maintain that same status that they want you to maintain. Talk about that, my brother.
Sure. Well, I mean, the first thing I want to say is I've crystallized that thought. Like, the thought is now is date your wife.
Date your wife. Woo.
Date your significant other. Always date her. Because when you're in a situation where as the relationship gets older, I always use this, and sometimes people mistake me. Guys will get a puppy and make a commitment to a puppy. Like, when you buy a puppy, you got to walk it 2-3 times a day, feed it. You got vet bills, and at the end of that, you know, eventually he's going to be shitting on the floor, and you're going to have to carry him to the vet, and you have to put him down. Guys will make that commitment and then not make the same commitment to a relationship or a marriage. You're right. So, you know, what we're talking about, you got to date and here's the other thing. If you're dating your wife and she's so broken that she doesn't respect that, you don't have to fight. You just leave
and keep it moving. Right.
You could just leave, and what happens is that people make comparisons.
Right.
You know, when you with somebody who who opens the car door and, you know, pay the bill, always on point. You need something, they got you. They're aware of you. You know, you laying up in the period. I mean, you know, I remember dating my wife and her. You know, she get her period. I'd go get the chocolate and the salty chips, and I would bring it home because I knew. You know, you got to be thoughtful, but to the same token of being thoughtful in that way is what you should do for the person. You got to be with people who want to make you happy. If you with somebody who doesn't want to make you happy, then you shouldn't be with them.
That's
you know, if I'm telling you I don't like this, and another terminology I use is ACE, but the other thing I use is RFF, which is reasonable, fair, and firm.
Reasonable, fair.
What I'm asking you for, is it reasonable? Am I being fair?
Fair, right.
Do I not expect the same thing in you to ask me of the things that you want? And am I being firm? So one of the things that I say, relationships are easy. You just got to know what your non-negotiables are and then never negotiate them.
And you know, you stay right there, because Michael Jai White said he married his friend.
Yeah.
Well, how important is that friendship?
I mean, I think that depends on where you're at. I mean, like, everybody don't want to marry their friend. You know, somebody, you know, the dynamic. I mean, I think that's great for him, but I wouldn't use that as a, you know what I'm saying? There are women who want to be submissive, and they want to be, and there are women, and there's levels of that. So to kind of use any, and I think this is the problem with Kevin Samuels, this is the problem with all these dudes, Michael Lycan, and all these dudes, they have this model that they think works for all people, and it really doesn't. It just doesn't. You gotta, but if I go, okay, and and honesty, the authenticity and honesty is not just with other people. Like I always say this, if you 95% trustworthy, that's the definition of a liar. You gotta be 100%, 10 toes down all the time. That's what a liar is. 85, 95% is a liar. That's just a liar at 15% of the time. You know, so what happens is, because of that kind of honesty, right? People treat you differently. I give you an example.
You see what sister said in the chat? She said we can't be everything to our partners. I said, Yolanda, big up to Yolanda. She's my insurance lady. Big up to Yolanda. I know her for 30 years, man. Big up to her, man.
Yeah, that is a motherfucker. Hold on. I ain't dead. So maybe I need some insurance.
Yo, I can hook you up. She good people, man.
I bet she is. So, but
Jersey girl.
But I think you know, I think what happens is, you know, like what you call this, you know, like relationships is like carrying a couch. It's easy if you got two people, you know.
That's true.
You gotta have two. We gotta be in it. But if we're not in it, I think what happens is, when we're not the best version of ourselves, and then somebody rejects you because you're insecure about who you are, you go, I will.
I'll get you. Yeah, she's serious about that. She'll insure your pinky toe, man. She'll insure your pinky toe.
Yeah. You know, there has to be a situation where you got to be honest about what your non-negotiables are. So when you get a sister and she says, cheating is infidelity is my non-negotiable. Right. But when the guy cheats, right, you got to go. You don't got to be mad. You just got to go. You didn't know what it was. Maybe the person didn't know what he was. Maybe he was deceptive. But as long as you operate on the information you have, then you don't, this way you're not, I mean, you may be disappointed, but what are you really disappointed? You're disappointed about what the potential of the relationship is, not what it was. So if you're dealing with somebody, if honesty and fidelity is the most important thing, and then he's not that, and I'm not saying that people can't make mistakes. People make mistakes, but What I'm saying, the question you have to ask is the constitution of this person untrustworthy? And if the constitution is untrustworthy, you just, even if somebody deceives, oh, okay, I get it. You know, I get it. You're just not trustworthy. Right, and that usually comes from insecurity and all kinds of other, and trauma and all kinds of stuff. But there's this, you know, I think if you're honest, you got to be honest with yourself, and that means honest even when your honesty might create a conflict. Also, when the honesty might make somebody unhappy, you got to be honest about it. Because if you do that, you're giving people an opportunity to make a decision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
and
know,
if they make that decision and they stay, then you can't talk about you didn't know what the, you know. Look, I was a hoe when I was younger. Yeah. So anybody that I was #1 male stripper on the East Coast.
Yes, you was.
If you was messing with me, I would be, look, I really like you. I like hanging out, but look, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
That's right.
You know, and I'm not telling you can't do what you want to do, but I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do what I want to do. So if you can't deal with that, I totally get it. Let's just
keep it moving.
Yeah, you keep it moving. And to the same token, you know, just, you know, when you connect with somebody and you make that the commitment, you got to be honest about it. So I was gonna say that I was out in London doing this gig, and I came back, and a friend of mine just called me as I was in Kennedy Airport. He was like, "Oh man, I didn't know you was coming in. I'd have came by and picked you up." And I was like, "Nah, yo, no big thing. It's easier for me to just grab a cab, right?" And he goes, "All right, well, if you ever want, you know, I'm here for y'all, whatever." So I go, "Cool." But I took an Uber. I didn't take a cab. I took an Uber.
Right.
So I called my man up back, and I said, "Yo, remember when I said I took an Uber? I took a cab." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I didn't take a cab. I didn't take a cab. I took an Uber." And he's looking at me like, "Okay, like what does that matter?" Well, it matters to me because it was a cab. It was an Uber, not a cab. Right. Now, people say, "Yeah, but what difference? Who cares?" Here's what cares. If somebody ever said Dante lies, that guy would go, no. Right. And why would they say that? Because he won't even lie about he won't even let the little things that don't matter become unstamped of approval. Right. Like he won't even make the differentiation between a cab and an Uber, which negligibly doesn't make a difference, but it makes a difference to me. Yes. Because if I practice that need to be honest on every level, right, then I become flawless, and then or at least close to perfect. I always say perfect is something that we pursue, even though it's unattainable. Because as we move closer to perfection, it moves further away from us. That's right. So we know that in snooker, if you're doing a throw and you're practicing, you know, like I used to do this thing because I took judo too with Higashi. Oh, gosh. Okay. Yes. And one of the things they would do is they would take a bicycle tire, tie it to the doorknob, and then you, like, if you did like the throw, we had to do all of that. Right. 100 times. Right. Yep. And then I remember that. You get 2 ties so that under tension, so that the footwork and the placement of, so when you threw that thing, it was unstoppable. Exactly. You know. And through the reputation, but you got a reputation for the details. Right. And people respect you differently because of the details. That's right. The intention of thought and intention of what you speak, being careful about what you say and don't say. Right. If I don't know something, I'll go, listen, I'm not really sure. Now, if you ask me my opinion, let me give you the caveat. I'm not putting my name on this. But if you ask me this way you know where I'm coming from. So there's never, if a woman can't trust you,
right,
how she can't feel safe. But more importantly, when you tell her you love her, how does she believe you? How does she know when you're lying or when you're not lying? When you're being deceptive?
Right.
I know dudes who have faked marriages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole ass lifetime of marriages.
Damn.
So what you want to do is you want your woman to trust you. I mean, I think that's more attractive than anything else.
Right.
I mean, it's all, it's all a sliding thing. It's looks and whether you're in shape, your intellect, how interesting you are. But on a base level, you tell the truth and keep your word.
Yeah, and family, we only got a few more minutes with my brother. I'm going to ask. I got 2 more questions for you, brother. Because
Get them quick. I'll do them quick.
Well, no, I love, you really, because we was taught back in the day to be critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Back even in the dojo, you had to be critical, and they would show us how to do a move over and over. We had to kick 500 kicks and 500. Yeah. We had to do all of our stuff. And the horse dance, we there for a long ass time.
And the reason for the reputation was so that you didn't have to consciously think about it. It would muscle memory and just it would happen automatically. So now you would free up space for you to see everything else, for you to see the landscape.
Exactly. Family, I wanted to show, he's been in a lot of films. My brother, the one that got me actually is because, and it actually brought a tear to my eye because, like I said, I know where you came from, brother.
Yeah.
And watching you on The Blacklist. I love that show. I love that show. I watched it probably like 4 times.
Stretch for me.
Yeah, that was a good stretch. And you on The Blacklist and all. I've seen a lot of the other ones, Ocean 8 and all that kind of stuff. But The Blacklist, I said, man, God, my man came a long way. Watching you, and last time I ran into you back in the day was on Fulton Street there, not too far from Brooklyn Mike's spot over there, Brooklyn Moon. And you was leaning up against the pole. You had a backache and something was going on with your back. Me and Tony Flowers was right there. Tony Flowers. And, in the acting, what made you go into acting and also comedy along your life now? Because it was like you made a whole switch. And next thing I see you on movies, then I see you on stage and all of that.
So if you remember, I always wanted to do comedy.
Yes.
It was, this is the one thing that I actually regret that I didn't do it sooner.
Early, right.
But because I was such a name as a stripper, I didn't think people would take me seriously. So I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you were around, but I used to do a comedy show at Worlds Collide.
Yes, at Worlds Collide. Yes, of course. That's what I remember.
Like 92. So I always, even as a kid, when I was a little kid, how Johnny Carson would have a comic. I used to sneak up late and then peek through the crack in my mother's bedroom door to watch the comic.
Yep.
And then go to bed way past my bedtime. So I always wanted to do it. And then when Def Jam broke, right, I was like, oh my God, I want to. And so it was me bringing Def Jam to Brooklyn, really.
Yep.
And at that time, Mike Epps and Tracy Morgan and Ian Edwards and all these dudes who I had them working, which is interesting because, at the time, I think Tracy was either living in LG or whatever, but he was at a time where he was cracked out a little bit. And he used to come to my room and go, yo, I ain't got no milk for my kids. You mind if I put you up? Could you put me up and give me a little something to get some milk for some formula for that? And I'm like, yeah, which is interesting because Tracy did nothing to help nobody. He is every time I see him crying on TV about how he would inspire me or how Martin did this and Eddie did this, he did nothing for nobody. And I
didn't like how he cussed out Will too. Will, I know Will. That's JP's cousin. I know Jameek's cousin.
Dirtbag. Tracy Morgan is a dirtbag, but Tracy also became the father. Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey's plaything. Like a lot of times, white folks love to look through the window of what ghetto is or what they perceive ghetto is. and he became a pet. And that's really how he got rich. It was like, you know, with no scruples, no morality, no nothing. He just, and you know, I know people that had opened up for him, that a particular chick opened up for him, and she was in Oklahoma and she got stomach poisoning. And he left. Oh, I mean, you know Yamanika. You know Yamanika.
Oh, yeah, of course I know Yamanika. Yes,
Yamanika in Oklahoma. She was had food poisoning, and she said, "I don't think I'm gonna make it to the show." And he left her there, and she was trying to. And this when she wasn't getting it, and she was stuck in Oklahoma trying to get a ticket out. So, and I know guys that rode with him where he throw them out the limo, and just a dirtbag, just a real dirt. What's me when he's crying and he, Eddie did this for me more, and I love it. Just a piece of garbage. So you never know.
And I met him at Uptown Comedy Club with Monteria Ivy, because I used to work with Monteria.
Yeah. But you know, this one he wasn't getting. He was Pelican. So he's just not a good person.
Right.
But I always wanted to do it, and I didn't think I could do it, so I just started promoting comedy.
Yeah.
And I love being around it. I love watching the process and stuff, but I always wanted to do it. So I
got you to the movie.
Huh?
I got you into the movie.
Actually, and so what happened was I was doing the comedy, and I wasn't doing the comedy, but I was doing other things. Like I had a clothing line at one time that was really, and I realized I was just doing things not to do comedy. You know what I mean? To keep from having to, because when in comic you're emotionally naked. You know, you're scripted, you're physically naked, but comedy you're emotionally naked. Right. Or at least if you want to be good. I mean, that's what made Patrice such a good comic, because he was honest and open. What made Pryor the beat, because he was open, like
all of them.
So 2000, I had a clothing line with a guy, and long story short, I had some beef within the strip business, and I knocked some dude out, right? All of my stories kind of end up with that,
knocking somebody out, yes.
And I did it in front of the guy, right? And I think that he was intimidated by that, and so he would just give me opposition for no reason, like. Anything I would do, if I said, let's do this in blue, he would go red. I think he was just trying to, and it was just a fight to do this. So I was like, I don't really want to do this anyway. I want to do comedy. So in 2000, I started doing comedy. And I ran into a guy, got Bruce Kivo, another martial arts dude, heavy martial arts dude, older guy, heavy into that early on the MMA stuff. And he was doing, and he was also an agent, and he was like, you know, you got a great look. You'd be good for commercials. And I was like, I'm never really into acting. And I was never, but I was like, all right, you know, I'll go see what happens, you know, because the focus was comedy. Yeah. And I started going out for stuff, and I did like a Radio Shack commercial and this and that, and I was getting stuff in the Food Network. And then they would send me out for stuff, and I started getting parts. But I think I was getting the parts because I really didn't care. Like, not caring about it gave me a nonchalantness to be calm. Because if I got it, I got it. And then when I started getting stuff, I was like, oh, shit, this it's real. You know, could be a thing. And then, so I started just doing the acting. And I went and took a class. I remember taking an acting class. And it was, I forget the actor's name, but he said, listen, you don't need to be here. He says, you have a rich life that you like, you can just pull from your life.
Yes, you can.
And he gave me a few techniques, just how to kind of be present. And then I would just kind of, you know, you make those acting choices. And so I didn't really consider myself an actor until Blacklist, honestly, because
really
now I was like, I dabble in acting, but I didn't really go. I did a scene with James Spader. Mm-hmm. And I was such a big fan of him. You know what I mean? It was just amazing. And I did a scene with him, and I mean, he was, you know, the actors you work with elevate you.
Yes, they did.
So there would be no action or cut. We would do the dialogue. Say the dialogue was like 2-3 pages of dialogue. He would go and then go back he'd go back to this line. Mm-hmm. You had to have it in your head, go back to the line, and then start from there. What do you mean? And then he'd go back 2 lines before that, right? And he would just run. The camera would run, and I'm like, I'm keeping up. You know what I mean? And that was like the first time I felt like I was acting. So the comedy was a love. The acting was something that happened as a sidebar, as the stripping. I mean, I was just looking for a hustle. I was in shape. I was a house head. I was at the Paradise Garage. And I was flipping around, and I was like, all right, let's do this. The only thing that I ever really did that I wanted to do, that I set out to do, was comedy. You know,
and last thing, man, what is it? What do you see a legacy? Are you writing your book? Are you doing your documentary? What you gonna do with this legacy? 100 years from now, how are we gonna look at Dante?
I'm working on that, but it's a funny thing now. It's like, used to be that books were the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you write a book and it gives you legitimacy because you wrote a book, right? Right. But now, yeah, it's great to have a book because people can buy a book. It's something tangible. Right. But your online presence now is, I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't have a book, but you can go back to a video clip of something that I said. Yep. That was prolific or profound in that moment, and just, and even those things that you got. Well, you want to see I got one on my Instagram.
Yeah, you got one. Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up so she can see. He's going to Instagram. Back in the day.
Look, I'm way old and I ain't the same nigga, but I'm not the same dude. So like,
here it is. Let me pull it out. I got it right now. I remember he used to dress in leopard skin back in the day. I tell you, he used to train with us, yo. This is Dante Nero.
That came from
there's Dante.
There's one. I think there's one on the very bottom.
Oh, there's one on the bottom.
Later, the lower on the Instagram, like further down on the Instagram, or there's one. Keep going, all the way on the bottom. Scroll all the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. Hold on.
Yeah, you got. Well, that was the crew.
Got you in the crew. Hold on. Here's the crew, family. This is the crew. This is the cold crew back in the day. Seduction, wet seduction.
Go down. Go all the way to the bottom.
Let's go down to the bottom. You want to see Dante back in the day? These Negroes was flying over tables.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
you gotta go all the way to the bottom.
You were in the bottom. Okay, you got.
This is.
Damn, you way in the bottom. She might have to go and check it out herself.
Yeah, it's way down, and it's not. I don't think it's loading fast enough.
It's not loading. Hold on, let's go to the bottom. I'll see if it's loading. Nah, it ain't going. It ain't going. Yeah, it's loaded. But yeah, y'all want to see Dante? He got some old pictures out there. He said, "Way to the bottom." Oh my God!
Yeah, the thing is, it just was. It was something that I fell into. Like that was something I fell into, and then I would just always, whatever I fell into, I'd put all my life into it. Just put all my energy into it, and it was.
But there's no chance of you writing a book or doing any documentary.
I might write a book. I was looking at the advertisement you had about the sister that ghostwrites.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Ghostwrited and stuff, but it's.
Yeah, she's helping. She's helping a few of the elders in Sanukis write their books too. She's working on. She's going to be working with Urban, Muhammad, of course, Grandmaster Urban. We're gonna try to get him.
So
I'm trying to find. We still scrolling. You got a lot of pictures.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
Close, bro. You're getting close.
Only because of you, Yolanda. Yolanda's a dear friend. Only because of you, Yolanda. You're the one that. It's right here.
It is, right to the right. Yeah.
Right here, right there. Yeah, there you go. That's you and who else? The body?
Me and Messi Marvin.
Oh, that's Messi. Oh, get out of here. Damn. There you go.
Yeah, he's DJing now. He DJs like huge rave parties and stuff like that.
Rave? Oh man. Hey, whatever happened to Flavor and the crew, man? All these guys.
I don't. I mean, what you call it? No, Punishers.
Yeah, Scorpio and all of Scorpio. I heard he had like hernias, and all kinds of stuff. You was lifting them big girls. Remember, you was bigger than big girls.
Ain't nobody picking up bigger than me. That's why my back is fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's right. You was going flipping them and doing rolling with them and rolling all over.
Yeah, I spoke to Scorpio. He he ain't doing good.
My man.
But there's a lot of these dudes just, they what I call they sucked on the lollipop too long,
Yolanda, you gonna get yourself in trouble with this dude. Yolanda get herself in trouble with your ass.
Be a hole you can't dig out, but you might not want to dig out. So that's good too. So
dude, man, we go back. I'm trying to tell you. I already know. I've seen it happen.
So but yeah, there's it was just something that I wanted to do. It was something that I wanted to do, and I fell into it, and I just think that you gotta, and there's so many dudes that from that era who, their last hurrah was that era.
That was it.
And I think my humility comes from that. I'm still trying to make new memories. You know what I mean?
You're still
like
doing it, man.
Still growing, still. I'm working on an hour special that I need to put out. I'm really working on the podcast is getting bigger now. I really dug in because a lot of this social media, and I'm really proud of you, bro, because you really dug in on this social media thing, and I didn't do it till later, and it's like if I had got into it heavy during the COVID, it'd be over. But who would have thought? Who would have thought that everything is social media now? Now, right now, I mean, there's a few outlets like, Kevin Hart did that
right.
Funny AF or whatever. But for the most part, if you don't have a social media following, you have nothing. Like
Dante, like you, I started YouTube at 2013, but didn't pursue it the same way.
Yeah.
But I developed a powerful channel, but it's not big because I don't have trolls. That's why I call it King Simon Presents Only Quality People. I have quality people. I don't have trolls on my show. Trolls come. And I'm happy with no trolls. You know what I'm saying? I don't the bots and all that stuff. But my analytics keep on saying I'm growing and growing. They say keep on, and I'm going. But I'm not trying to do any controversial stuff. That's why I won't even get into all the extra stuff that y'all are going through on your channel with GODfrey. I'm like, I love and respect what he's doing. I love what you're doing. I love everybody that's coming on. Big up to Eva, fellow Jamaican sister. She out there. I do our thing, everything. And Yamika, she could be Yamika is something else, boy, when she get on that channel. But I still love her energy and how she's doing her thing.
I'm the only one that can handle her.
Yeah, you could handle her. I could see that. Yeah,
she knows that and this goes to my sincerity, my honesty, and she knows. So she's like Yamanika had they go at her and then she responds in that she responds in kind, and then it becomes this whole kind of volatile thing, and I just don't. I always say that a woman is a direct reflection of the man she's fucking, and
right.
Because if you're not Maya Angelou wouldn't have wrote "So I Rise" if her man was going upside her head. You know what I'm saying? It's it has to be a peacefulness in order. And like kind, you want somebody who wants that kind of peaceful and that kind of growth for you. And it's just weird to me that the insecurity of life makes people do horrible things, treat people in horrible ways. And when you could always just not do it. Like I've had, I remember I was dating her, she was like really smart girl, but just, was, I don't know how you put it. She was like an intellectual bully, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was intimidated because of the fact that I was kind of a street dude, but I was also a dude was reading books and traveling and stuff.
Exactly.
And so I remember her going to me, I'm smarter than you. And I go, I don't know why would you like, but it comes from her insecurity of feeling where she was in relationships where she was usually the smartest. intellectually the smartest person.
Right.
She wasn't smarter than me.
Right.
And I mean, you can be smart and have no practical application
Right.
of your knowledge, where you just know information and you don't know how to put thought together.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I know that. I mean, I know that by friends of mine. It's just, you know, that you gotta learn. You gotta move forward. You gotta take the information and then, you know, navigate better. You know,
Dante, with the younger generation coming up, this is the last one. I swear, this is the last one. It's just good having you around, man, and you know, and being able to talk to you. Too. You know, but this is the last one, especially for the younger generation, the younger men and women out there. What do you suggest? And I do have a lot of young people. I noticed that in my analytics that watch me, 25 and up. But what do you suggest to these young people when it comes to relationship this in these days and times now that social media is so dominant in their life? Well, what do you suggest to them, brother?
So the first thing I would say is one of the things that, you know, when we talking about Brooklyn 80s, 90s, right? In order to walk the streets with confidence, you had to be ready.
Yes, you do.
The only reason why you walked with any confidence, you were ready.
Yeah.
And you were, most of the time, if somebody ran up on you or there was a funky situation, you were like, look, let me see how I can get out of here. But if I can't, it's just, ain't nobody gonna want this smoke that I got for you.
Yeah.
Because what I'm ready to do to you is not what I've thought about this already.
Right.
So when we're training in the dojo, the same thing is true with relationships. It's like you have to be the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not the best version of yourself, you should be working to be the best version of yourself. Whatever those things that you're insecure about, work on them.
Yes.
If you ain't smart, read books. If you're uninteresting, do stuff. I had a guy who said to me, he says, you know, people say, I'm a good looking guy and this, but I get girls, but I can't keep them. They always say I'm boring. And I said to him, well, how, then don't be boring. You know what I mean? I know that sounds obvious, but so the question is how? Say yes. Say yes to stuff. You see, there's a, last year I went to, they had an orchid, where they were showing the orchids at the Botanical Gardens.
Yes, I was just there.
I'm going.
It's beautiful.
It's not something I would do, but let me go do something I wouldn't normally do.
Yes.
Let me go to the Momo. I think it was the Momo just had. It was the Momo that had the dandy exhibit about black men dressing.
Yes.
You know, you do these things, then you have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take, I'm teaching myself how to play drums now. Why? Am I going to be in a band? No, but I'm doing something else.
That's right.
I always wanted to play chess. I mean, but saying yes to life.
Yeah.
First of all, you get these experiences that you enjoy.
Yes.
I'm trying to get my weight down so that I can jump out of a plane. I'm a Redman. You know, Redman.
Yes.
Is done over 300. He's done over 300 jumps.
Really? I want to do it for my 60th birthday on February 1st. I want to do it.
He's a master. Now he has 300 different jumps, right?
Really?
I want to get down to enough weight because I'm too big to jump out of a plane.
That's what they said. Really?
Yeah, you can't be. I think it's 225, 250. I mean, I haven't seen that since college. You know what I mean? So. My goal is to get the weight down so that I can do that. But I mean, just saying yes to life and being interesting. When you're interesting, fix the things that are wrong, and then say yes. You gotta say yes to life because you're interesting. Then you'll have a level of confidence, and then practice ACE. If you practice ACE, that means tell the truth all the time. Not 85% of the time, not 95% of all the time. Now that doesn't mean so a lot of nice guys will they won't, you know, when you tell lies, when you talk about lies, they're talking about things that are deceptive, right?
Right.
But it's also lies if your girl says, how do I look in this dress? Mm-hmm. And maybe it's you don't like it. Now you don't say you look fucking hard. You don't have to do that. No. But you can say, I don't think this flatters you better. You have something else.
That's right.
Also, if somebody's engaging with me aggressively, I'll be like, what's the problem? Well, I go, listen, I'm like, I'm not going to we can have a discussion, but I'm not going to be your emotional punching bag. So, but a lot of times when a guy let's say a guy, his wife don't like him going out drinking, he's either got to say, listen, I work hard and I want to go hang out with my friends every once in a while, and this is what's going to happen, but I'm not arguing about it. Now you also know if it's in, but if you're going out and then you're lying about it, right? You create. So this is the Uber taxi cab thing. If you lie about that, then your woman will go, what do I don't know if anything is true. I call it the Judge Judy effect. You ever see somebody get caught in a lie in the first 5 minutes of Judge Judy, and everything he says is
null and void. That's right.
you cannot lie to women. I'm gonna tell you, fellas, you cannot lie to women because their ability, their intuitiveness, and their ability to tell the truth is attached in their DNA to recognizing danger, because they're the weaker species. So they have to, if you're a creep, they got to be able to figure out that you're a creep before they're in the apartment for the nightcap. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Or before they're in the car. So you're not gonna lie. Now, a woman, if you're good looking, if you 6 foot, you got the 6 pack, she might overlook your lies.
Yeah.
But she knows you lying.
Right.
She just decided to not look at those red flags because she likes you.
Right.
But what if she likes you and she trusts you? And she keeps your word. And even when she's emotional about something, and you have, listen, calm down. You need to tell me what's wrong.
Right.
And a lot of times it's well, I wanted to see you, and I missed you, and I felt, well, tell me. You know, you got to teach people how to talk to you. How does a woman know who you are? You tell her.
Right.
But you tell her by the way you walk, the way you talk, the cadence of your voice. You know, even I say this all the time, even sexually, guys will call me up and they'll say sexually, what could you tell me to be a better lover? I go, pay attention. You gotta pay attention. If you're watching, if you're doing the good, giving the good, and you're watching her abdomen, and her abdomen is if she's, that's not good. There should be a deepness of breath. There's there's a deepness. The abdomen, the diaphragm will sink and it'll rise. When you have to watch.
Pay attention.
You know,
Pay attention.
It's the details, because it'll tell you everything that the body talks.
God is in the details.
Exactly. You gotta the empathy of it. But that's the empathy.
That's empathy.
You know, you watch a guy and then knocking it, banging, and then the girl, she got a hand on his stomach. That's because it's too much.
And that's why I'm happy. I'm born here as a first generation Jamaican, and I'm glad I wasn't raised in Jamaica, because that seemed to what has happened. It went into that culture of just banging the girl out and ripping out the punani and all kind of craziness. Yeah. Daga. I'm like, come on, man, that ain't.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the thing: when that's what she wants, them hip flexors will relax. And them legs will fall back all the way back when that's what she wants. Right. But you gotta pay attention, though. I always use this analogy about boiling an egg, right? You want a hard-boiled egg, right? You put the water in the egg. You put the egg in the water. The water gotta boil. You can't rush. It's gotta boil, right? So you have to have the patience for the temperature to rise. Then when it boils, then it's bubbling, but you can't rush it, you know? And so but if you're not paying attention, you know, like, I won't use that analogy, but I fucked up my meniscus. I used to snowboard, right? And the thing about on the snowboard is you ride on the edge, right? You ride on the edge,
right?
But in order to curve, so when you curve, you go. The board has to go flat, right, downhill, and then it goes back on the other edge. So it has to do this as you're curving, right?
Right.
But when the board goes flat, the board speeds up. So if you panic, a lot of times people will try to jump from edge to edge. You can't do that.
Right.
That's when you can't. That's how I flipped in the air and I tore my meniscus. You have everything just like the boiled egg. You have to let it boil. You can't do things fast when it ain't ready. It just ain't ready, and you can't. There's no way you can. There's no way you can do that. So I would say to them, if you just practice ACE, it's a weird thing that no matter what the problem, that I see guys consult with me, DanteNero.com, click on consult. If you want to work with me, whatever. I have a Patreon where I talk about this stuff all the time. I also do it with women, the same thing. I mean, it's all, it's a different perspective because one's being pursued or not pursued. I've counseled people in the LGBT community because even in the LGBT,
they're going through it.
But it's also a dominant and a submissive.
Exactly. Yep.
Same thing. But the thing is, it always comes back to ACE.
Yes.
You were dishonest. You didn't keep your word. You had the inability to see that she was going through something that you didn't really see.
Right.
Or because you weren't honest in the beginning, it always comes back to the same three principles. It's like, in the course of all the time that I've been talking about this stuff and living it, it always is a matter of, it always comes back to crystallize to those three things.
And Dante, I want to thank you so much, and thank you for carrying that torch like you got on your of Patrice. I watched Patrice on a regular for many years, and realizing that you're keeping that light burning, man. I know it was a great loss back in those days.
Yeah, I miss that dude every day, man.
I know, man, and just like I miss Monty, because Monty and I used to work on radio back in the day, and I went to his funeral. And even Rashid was used to come to my parties, man, at my house. Man. These great brothers, man, and it's so and thank you for keeping that light burning, man. And I hope you do write your book. If you need help, I'm gonna send you connections. If you need graphics, all of that stuff, I got people that can help you out, man. Good friends of mine. As a matter of fact, some of them used to be right there, and they've been to your shows back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So if you need help, man, to promote anything, just hit me up, man. Let me know.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm still a promoter. I'm still a street promoter.
How often do you go live?
I go live almost every day because I also teach numerology sessions online. So I teach, and then I put it in my membership, and everybody pay to go to my membership to get the whole thing. When they
send me a link for what time you always go this time.
Yeah, either this time or at night. Cause I know you do comedy. That's why I don't send you to it. But I know I usually go on around 8, 9 o'clock.
Send me during the day.
Because you remember Dr. Valentine used to be at When Worlds Collide. So I had Phil Valentine on just recently. I have, still Dr. Africa and everybody else to work with. Everybody. Queen of Four we were talking about her. I'll be with her there. So man, I'm so proud of you, man. I sent it to Professor Bill. I sent it to Anthony. I said so they're gonna be watching later after. So I told them tune in. They gotta tune into the family. I always send it to the family. Man? All right. Love you, man. Always love you and respect you all the time, man.
Please watch your back.
Watching. Remember what it's okay, Little John used to say, watch your back. Yes, sir, all the time. Head is always on the swivel, sir. All the time. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, peace and love. That's our brother Dante Nero, man. Let me give him a round of applause as we let him out, man. Whoa. Woo! Those that are just tuning in, we had the great Dante Nero. We went to an hour and 40 minutes, man. I could have kept him on longer. So much you can delve because he used to work with Patrice O'Neal. He's an actor on Blacklist and Ocean 8. I could have went anywhere with Dante, and he will not be a stranger on my channel. That brother, and again, I may not have one of the large platforms. I have a powerful platform of information, and I bring on only quality people. Martial artists, from martial artists to insurance ladies to former strippers, all of that. I don't care because quality is quality. And Dante has always, since we were younger, always said what he mean and mean what he said. You know what I'm saying? He born the same day as Stevie Wonder. Let me say that. He's born the same day as Stevie Wonder, which is May the 13th. And when you add that 5 and that 13 together, the 5th month plus the 13 together, that's 18. So you know that's a number 9, and 9 is one of those numbers that says what they mean and mean what they say. It's just that when it comes to certain things, they got to say it with love. You know what I'm saying? That's how important it is. And so it was an honor to have our dear brother on our channel. You know, again, you see him on with GODfrey and all the rest of them. You know, follow him, follow him, follow him. He is an authentic brother. And he's going to tell you like it is when it comes to relationship from his perspective, but at least he's honest. And that's what ladies want. Ladies want honesty. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to realize, that Dante is an honest brother all the time. He's been honest with all of us back in the day. And I respect him immensely. We've been talking about getting on my show. He came on briefly for Professor Bill's birthday a couple of years ago. Professor Bill, all of us touch hands with Professor Bill at the dojo. So, you know, it's important that you keep those friends. And like I said earlier in my last ones, I've had friends for 30 years. Now, notice 2026, take away 1989, I've known Dante for 37 years. I've known Dante for 37 years. And before that, we used to hear his names on the streets of New York in the strip clubs. I used to host and book strippers and all that kind of stuff. And so Mandingo was that dude out there, especially in the dojo. You don't be messing around with Dingo. We'll call him Dingo for short. But Mandingo wasn't just Ken Norton back in the day. You know, it was Dante Nero made that name Mandingo famous in the New York streets of exotic entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And whooping people's ass for trying to put his hands on you, or, you know, you going into these holes in the walls and you had to defend yourself from brothers and brothers that wanted to attack you because you took their woman and all that kind of stuff. And when I used to book strippers back in the day, I used to have to go and protect them too. As small as I am, 5'6", 150, about $150. I still would watch their back, collect their money, and give them their money. I didn't even tell them to get. I told them, don't give me your money. Please just pay for my gas. At that time I was driving. Pay for my gas to get you here and get you back. I'm cool. I was cool like that. With a big up to all those strippers that I have worked with. Not that many, but a very few of them. And those that I used to do parties at, you know, condos and all that kind of stuff. Big up to Flavor, a female woman named a Flavor dancer called Flavor, and Katra, and, you know, all these great sisters, Queenie, and all these great sisters from back in the day. I won't mention their real name, but it is what it is. And I don't know if a lot of them are still alive. But yeah, you learn a lot in the club life. You learn the do's and don'ts on how to deal with women, and even how to shut it down and be a man when it's time to be a man, and how to be a little sensitive and work with them when it's time. I've cried with a lot of former strippers and people, and sat there and really consulted them, and we talked, and we found out who was hurt and who was not hurt, and who went through this with daddy or mommy or all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've been down those roads with a lot of sisters that I've known in that life, the club life, especially the club life. Thank you very much, Yolanda Spivey. Big up. I'll definitely, if he wants the insurance lady, I will definitely send him your name. Let me text him right now. You still want the insurance lady's number? You want the insurance lady's number? Make sure he wasn't just talking. I know he's authentic. So you want the insurance lady's number? Insurance. Make sure, because I know she will insure a pinky toe in a minute. Insurance lady number. I'm texting him right now. It's Yolanda. As soon as he say, yeah, I will send your business number to him, not your cell phone number, your business number. Because Yolanda has been a good person, good friend for 30 years. Even when we lost touch with each other, we still remembered each other. Big up to Sam Elarapti. He said, yes, he does want it. So we're going to make sure you insure that brother. He needs insurance. He needs some insurance. I'll tell you right now, he needs that insurance. That's my brother. So he said yes, and I'm finding your number right now, Yolanda, and make sure I take care of you and make sure I don't forget. So as we're moving forward, make sure I don't forget. And so I'm gonna send it to him right now. I'm gonna send him the 800 number, the 833 number, Yolanda. So Yolanda Spivey, insurance for celebrities. That's what I call you, you know. So that's what she is. So I'm sending it right now. I'm texting your address. I got him. I know you got him. I know you got him. You know, he might get you playing around with that dude. Ain't no joke. Look, he's Sonata. I know him for that long. So I know the history. So you know, but you know, give him the cell. I gave him the 3833 number already. So you know, no, the cell phone number. Okay, she said the cell phone number. Okay, hold on one second. Let me find your cell phone number. Don't put it on the line there. She said, let me find your cell number real quick. I'm doing this real time, family. This real time, making business happen. She might even give me a percentage. She said, let me make sure. She said, hold on one second. Whoops. Where is it at? Okay, this is her cell. Hey, this is her cell. This is her cell. This is her cell. All right, that's the cell. All right, so I just gave it to him. Again, she said, no, the cell. She told me to give it to you. She told me to give it. If you have any of your crazy girls and them others that, you know, they want a nice little show, he could probably, he don't do that no more. But we can book him for a comedy show. I think we should book Dante for a good, fun comedy show one night. She told me to give it to you. Give it to you, you know. So I think we should book Dante for a good comedy show. And I want to go and see him live. I haven't seen Dante in a long time. I got $5 for you. Really? Stop playing. $5. $5. Jesus Christ. He's going to buy me a pair of socks for $5 out of K&S over there downtown Brooklyn or somewhere. It's $5. He said, send me a picture. Dante is wild. Yes, okay, hold on. I'll send you a picture. You want a picture of Yolanda. Okay, Yolanda, I told you. This is Dante Nero. All right, now, so family, on that note, let me get on out of here. Just remind y'all that, of course, starting on August the 1st, if you want to do a face-to-face, if you're in Brooklyn, New York, and you want to do a face-to-face consultation with me, one-on-one at a vegetarian restaurant and cafe, all you have to do is text me the word face-to-face, pay or circulate the money to what you want to do, whether it's a 15-minute or the 30-minute session, and we could do it live face-to-face at Mint Porch Cafe. I will also buy you a drink. That's how deep it is. I will buy you a mother flipping drink, you know, so you could enjoy the smoothie or the smoothie or the tea right there, or the soup. You could get the vegan soup or whatever, and I will. But make sure you text me. You gotta text me before I show up and be over anywhere. I'm not waiting for people. I don't wait for people. This is my time. This is their time. I'll be there. I can be there from 1 to 4 if I get enough people that's going to book either for 15 minutes or 30-minute sessions only, face-to-face. You can record the whole session. We can talk, laugh, joke, whatever, but we're going to do this face-to-face for either 15 or 30 minutes in Brooklyn, all right? Just want to let y'all know that. Remember, you can circulate to the channel. That's, of course, you can circulate through PayPal, Venmo, Super Chat, Super Sticker, all of that. You can spread love. If you enjoy what I do, you can spread love. Again, that's what I do. Once again, we want to thank Dante Nero for coming on. Y'all have seen him on GODfrey and We Trust, and a lot of comedy shows, a lot of movies, a lot of stuff. So big up to him. If you want the affirmation t-shirts, we got the affirmation t-shirt. Uncle Hank got it in his warehouse. He got like 3 boxes. So we're trying to knock out 3 boxes. We are going to knock out 3 boxes together, no matter how long it takes. If you want to write your book, please, by all means, if you want to write your mother flipping book, family, come on, contact that sister for a real free consultation, and then see if you want to proceed and how you want to proceed. And of course, we will take care of you. And I want y'all to be able to get over there, not that sister. I'm about to send the wrong picture, Yolanda. You want me to send the picture? I'm gonna send the picture. Get all that. I ain't afraid. So if you want to write your book, contact my sister at 914-361-9467. Write your book. Write your book. Like I was suggesting to Dante, you got to put it out. No matter if people are reading or not, you could write a book, you can do an audio book, you could do an ebook. All of that works. It all works if you are willing to make it happen. All right. So that's very important. And that you let that happen. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Boom. That's a good picture. Yeah. Yeah. So it's very important, that you write your book. Write your book. You see all these books behind me? These are 5 of my books. 5 of my books. Residuals are coming in. And if you're doing it through Amazon, they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that you tell your story. Tell your story. Tell your story. And that's how important it is. Tell your story, because your story is important, family. So again, check out Susie's script. Just because her name is Susie don't mean she's a white girl. She's not a white girl. All right. She's not a Karen. All right. She's a beautiful melanated woman, and she's very passionate about what she does. She's a Scorpion. So Scorpions are very passionate about what they do. All right. Big up to her, and big up to my son. If you want to turn your book into an audio book instead, or poetry or whatever, and you want to put some music behind it, my son can do that. Green Studio NYC, Prince Imagine, Green Studio NYC. Also, get all of my books on Amazon. All of my books are available on Amazon, or you can go to my Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. That's Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. And of course, support my brother GODfrey T, Mr. G, in the motherfucking building, family. I'm trying to tell you, you got to do it. All right. Make sure you go to his new website, but all the website that you got on Mr. G is still working. MrGBlueMagic.com. Still working. I'm going to go for a ride. I got to stretch my legs out. When you're sitting down too much, you got to stretch your legs out. All right. That's what I do. Work out. And last but not least, not that. Let's go. Queen Afua, I will be there. 14th, 15th, and 16th. But she's also doing a healing day on her birthday on August the 13th, starting at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'll be there for the 15th. And then I'll be in Harlem on the 16th. But y'all should be going to this, because Harlem Week is also happening also. AttendAscension.com. AttendAscension.com. Make sure you come on out there and enjoy. And family, if you do want to book a session with me and you don't want to come and meet me face to face, you could do it over the phone, 347-496-1022. Text me your full name, date of birth, and email to 347-496-1022. And don't forget B-Dell coming to Brooklyn Zoo. You want to get those tickets? Get the early bird tickets right now. They're starting at 40. It's going up to 60. Early bird tickets is only going to last until August the 14th. Go to Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. Or if you want to use other platforms like PayPal or Zelle or whatever, you can text me at 347-496-1022. Tight security at the library and at Nicholas. All right. It's going to be tight security at both places. We ain't playing with nobody. All right. And last but not least, this was just sent to me today. Martial arts production Warrior Within Dojo and the family of Sanukas is presenting something big. And this is called the 20th anniversary, preserving the legacy of the legendary Dr. Moses Powell, happening on Saturday, the 20th of March, 2027. That's March 20th, Saturday, 2027. Promotion is happening now. His daughter will be there, beautiful nurse Cheryl Powell, and GM Bill McLeod will be there, hosted by Soke Hassan Khalik, Antonio Fargas, you know Fargas from all those great movies, those black exploitation movies. Dr. Yusuf Abdul Salam will be there. And if you want to find out further information, go to the website, familyofsanukas.com, or call those numbers right there, right now, 610-504-3833 or 347-723-2308. Get them a call and tell them that King Simon sent you, because you about this legacy, you about this beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. You know, so it is what it is. On that note, family, let's get on out of here. Like Frankie Crocker used to say on WBLS, let's take a step to and get the heck on out of here. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Remember what the late, great Dr. Khalid used to say. Regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one creator. Remember what my brother Dr. B says. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. Remember what the late, great Dr. Delbert Blair used to say. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open up my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. And remember what the late, great Maya Angelou used to say. And still we rise. Keep on rising to the top, family. Once again, we want to thank Dante Nero for coming on. Make sure you go to his website. Support the brother, DanteNero.com. That's DanteNero.com. Hit him up at Cash App. That's $ Dante Nero. And make sure you join him at Man School 202 on YouTube. That's Dante Nero 1 on YouTube. Make sure you support our brother and what he's doing. Family, you've been watching King Simon Presents Only Quality People right here on YouTube. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you might be watching. It's all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. And remember, I love you because I love me. Take care.
As a woman of a certain age, there comes a time when our bodies begin to speak, to shift, to change, but not about something that's ending, but about becoming more aware, more attuned, more seasoned, and more aligned with our truth. Women are opening these pages and remembering themselves This is more than a book. This is a return, a remembrance, a chrysalis opening. Living like a menopause goddess. And this is only the beginning.
From the roots where the earth still speaks, to the fire where they always breathe. Hands of wisdom time can't erase. Every drop got a story to say. Slow it down, feel the rhythm inside. This ain't rush, this is sacred design. From the soil to the soul to the light, what you hold is a gift of life. You are, feel it in your soul. Give it, let the story unfold. Ancestral power in every drop. This that legacy, this don't stop. You are rooted deep in you. Give it, yes, pure and true. Not something you drink, you receive. This that energy you believe. Hey, hey. Ooh, Luani. Oh, Luani. Give it. This is where your elders hit and drums sing perfectly.